Hi everyone, welcome to today's webinar. We're going to go ahead and get started. Today's topic is all around a technology called Desk.com. And Desk.com is a customer service application that is part of our Salesforce family. And with Desk.com, you can have all of your customers' information, like the things that you're used to, cases, that is associated with each customer, lives seamlessly in one place, all in your Salesforce instance. Maybe it goes without saying, but your sales team is out there winning customers, and your support team is working really hard to keep all of your customers happy. So it's really important for your sales and service to always be in sync. And that's why we're here today, to talk a little bit about how you can strengthen that handshake between your sales and service teams. This is our famous safe harbor statement. I have to show it, I'm really sorry. Essentially what this is saying is that sometimes we might show you some really cool functionalities and make some forward-looking statements. Just make sure you make all of your purchasing decisions based on what is currently available today. What's great is that everything that we're demoing and showing you is available today. A quick introduction, my name is Kira Cho, and I'm part of the product marketing team here at Desk.com. I've been at Salesforce for 4 years and have been on the Desk team for a little over a year. So I love Salesforce, love everything that Salesforce has to offer. Francis, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi guys, my name is Francis, and I'm the solutions engineer on the Desk.com team. Happy to be here and excited to show you the demo.
Great. Make sure you connect with us. You can follow us on Twitter, ask us questions. We also have a dedicated Q&A at the end to get all of your burning questions in. You can send them privately via the chat panel. Just make sure you get all your questions out there and we'll be sure to get to them. This session will also be recorded, so after the webinar, we'll send you a link to retrieve the recording so that you can reference back to it or share it with colleagues. Here's the agenda for today. First, we're going to talk about how customer service can really help your business drive growth. We talked a little bit about this, how sales and support can always stay in sync, and we're going to talk all around the value and how you can actually make this a reality. And lastly, we'll show you a demo. And actually, right before the demo, we have our awesome FormStack customer that is here to talk to us about their experience and how they're currently integrating Desk to Salesforce. Here you can see many businesses really understand the value of support. And they all know that customer service should be part of their DNA, literally since the day one when they start the company. To grow, you really have to have your organization rally around your customer success. Everyone is celebrating because your customers are happy. And what that means for you in the back end is that it always requires a technology and a process that can help you do so. And you can see here, thousands of brands are using Desk.com to keep their customers happy. Lux is a great example. Actually, I just saw a Lux Valet representative on the street when I was coming to work today. And Lux is just an example of how companies that are experiencing rapid growth can use Desk.com to manage all of the influx customer cases that are coming in. Other companies that have made it and matured, like Eventbrite and Fitbit, also started off since day one knowing that customer service is very important to them, and they found a help desk solution to help them manage customer support. There's also a ticketing system use case for internal divisions in bigger organizations. So National Geographic is the perfect example of that. And these companies know how to scale for growth because we know that Desk is deeply integrated with Salesforce. When your company matures, you can easily transition and use their other product, Service Cloud. Service Cloud is the world's #1 customer service platform. We know that a lot of the times you will grow and your customer support cases, the complexity of it will also grow. And so we make sure that we provide you with future-proof solutions so that you never have to go through a rip and replace process. We know that's really painful for you. And the level of support is really dependent on what types of support you're trying to do and what you need support to connect to. So for example, if you have multiple tier support, what about SLAs that are tied to monetary penalties if you don't respond to customers within a certain amount of time? Connecting your support to legacy systems or back office systems and bringing all of that data up front to your agents so that they can interact with them. Whatever that scenario and use case for service is, you can easily start with Desk.com, and as you mature and grow, you can make that future a reality with our Service Cloud platform. So for those of you on the phone who are not familiar with Desk.com and what we do, Desk.com is part of the Salesforce family. It is our all-in-one customer service solution. And it comes with all of the support tools that you need right out of the box. So immediately you get things like a ticketing system, great case management tools to improve your agent productivity. You also have self-service capabilities, native reporting, and a mobile application so that you can start to respond to cases on the go. Our product is designed for speed, so you can quickly get support organized. In fact, our customers see an average of 1 to 3 days of setup time, so it's really optimized for speed. Everything is very easy to set up, and later Francis will show you how to get that up and running. And one of the reasons why it's problematic when your support team is not in sync with your sales team is that you're limiting yourself from providing great customer service to your customers. Think, when you call American Express, you always feel like they know you as a customer. They always have your transaction history, everything that they need to know about your account right in front of them. They've got all your information in front of them. And if your sales and support team aren't working together like that, your customer won't get that great experience similar to the American Express example. And what's very problematic is that you might have information living in siloed places, only visible by some, maybe duplicated information, or more scary, inaccurate information. And great things happen when your sales and service team are working better together. The main thing is that your customer will always get that best experience every time, similar to that American Express example that I just gave. Your agents and salespeople can now really personalize each interaction with your customer based on their interaction history or how long they're doing business with you. When you break down all the silos and start to share information across every department, it really allows people to work together. That collaboration and transparency is really key here, and that's what we're asking all of you to do that for your organization, regardless if it's using Desk or Sales Cloud. We really want to get that best practice out there. But if you are using Desk and Sales Cloud, you can extend your support possibilities by setting up really great workflows, automations, and having dashboard and reporting right in Salesforce. Later we'll show you again in the demo of how that looks like. And to fully leverage the power of the platform, we made sure that Desk.com and Salesforce work seamlessly together. Desk Connect really helps enable that. Desk Connect is a bi-directional sync that happens between Desk.com and Salesforce standard objects. What that means is that your company can now take full advantage of everything you're accustomed to and love about your Salesforce instance. So things like the reporting, the case feed. And you might ask, Kira, what exactly is a bi-directional sync? I actually didn't know this before this product was built. Well, the concept is really easy. A bi-directional sync means it's always on, and updates automatically happen from Desk to Salesforce and vice versa. This creates a transparency between customer service and your sales team. Now, don't take my word for it. What I really want to do is invite our customer speaker now to come tell us about their Desk deployment and how they're using Desk and Sales Cloud together. Or in fact, so Jessica, do you want to unmute and just say hello to everybody?
Yeah, hi everyone. Good afternoon, morning, evening, wherever you guys are. Thanks for having me, Salesforce.
Jessica, it's so good to have you on. I love talking to customers and just hearing from their use cases. So I know the attendees are also very eager to hear your story as well. So just very quickly, can you tell the audience what FormStack does and what the different solutions that your company provides?
Yeah, so a little bit about FormStack, what we do. We're an online form builder with a high focus in helping our users get leads and then do something with those leads once they have them, whether that's just monitoring the form's performance through analytics or passing that data on to another program, like, for instance, Salesforce is a third-party integration. So you could collect your data on the form, pass it into Salesforce as a lead or an opportunity. And then within the FormStack app, you can monitor how your form is converting, where there are abandonment rates. So it really gives you a nitty-gritty breakdown of each field and each form in your account. So it's pretty comprehensive. You have this whole company support slide up, and that's also something that we do in relationship to Salesforce. We do support and promote a whole company support model at FormStack, which means that everybody who works at FormStack, our CEO, our marketing team, our sales, our developers, everybody will contribute to support in some way, shape, or form. They take tickets, they answer them. And having this open platform in Desk with Flex agents and the transparency to Salesforce makes it easy for us to do that. We couldn't do that with other platforms we had tried, so it was a big selling point for us, and it means a lot to our company and our customers that we are able to do that.
Great. And what are some of the benefits that you're seeing now that you have sales and support working better together? I know you gave me a specific example. Can you tell the audience that example?
Yeah, so we had talked about an instance where somebody was wanting to upgrade and they didn't know who their sales rep was. They didn't have a direct connection to them. So we were able to find that right in Desk with virtually no effort from our support agents. They can see that and they can pass that along quickly. We also related to that, we did find during that upgrade process a bug in the billing system, which was actually on our side, but we ended up finding that because of Salesforce. So it was pretty nifty that we could see that the data wasn't getting sent to Salesforce because of something on our side. We fixed it, and the customer didn't even know about it. So from the customer's perspective, all these things are happening, and all they know is they're getting really quick, accurate service.
I love that story. I think it's right. There's a lot of technology that can help you, that can empower you to make sure all your data is in the right place so that when you're helping the customer, that experience is really seamless. So why do you think it's important to stick with Salesforce for certain point solutions? Like, what do you think our technology is helping you do to improve your business processes?
Well, I mean, I think it's easy for people to, leapfrog from different products, but that ends up being difficult because you invest in something, and we had been doing that in the past, but when we started using Salesforce and Desk, we started to find that we didn't really need to do that. It kind of had everything set up for us, or the capability was there for us to grow into. And that was a big driving point for us because we're a fast-growing company, so we're not only growing wide, but we're also growing far. So, for instance, we can hire one person or 100 people in a specific role, and we can grow into that with Desk and Salesforce communicating and the tools that are available there. Or we can add a brand new role that we didn't have before, and we can start building out those funnels and those automated actions for the new hire, the new role. So it's really a weight off of us to know that we don't have to go and find a program and set it up and use it, that all of it is ready for us when we're ready to start using it.
Oh, that's a really good way of putting it. It's really scaling for growth and really anticipating that you guys are going to grow. So making sure that your solution can also support that. That's great. Well, thank you so much, Jessica, for your time. That was really good insight. What I'm going to do now is pass it over to Frances, who is our solutions engineer, and what she's going to do is show us a killer demo of how this all works in practice. Take it away, Frances.
Thank you, Kira. All right. The beginning of my conversation today really begins with trust. Trust is our anchor. Desk has made huge strides in aligning with the same principles and certifications as the security framework built behind the Salesforce platform. And in terms of bringing us closer in sync with the platform, Desk Connect is that newest integration of Desk and Salesforce. We've released this functionality around a year ago, and we've been strengthening it ever since. You are going to get that complete synchronization of data real time, as Kara had mentioned. The two products work on the same shared data model in the back end, which means that that the company, the customer, the case inside Desk map to the associated account, contact, and native case objects in Salesforce. So what does that really mean, right? This means that all of your customer profile information, the company profile, cases, details, and any interactions that you touch within Desk automatically live inside of Salesforce, and vice versa. Essentially, the data lives in one single place. And in terms of updates from Desk to Salesforce are instantaneous, and vice versa from Salesforce back into Desk only take a matter of minutes to create that transparency you need between your customer service and your sales teams. And of course, additional benefits with Desk Connect of allowing you to leverage the Salesforce reporting engine, which I will touch upon later in the demo. So let's go ahead and walk through the workflow of a case coming in through Desk and how that's reflected in Salesforce. That experience begins from the external help center that we're looking at here. And I wanted to take this opportunity and really highlight, should we show that screen? Quick, 1 second, perfect. There we go. Great. All right. So I want to take this opportunity and highlight how Desk does multi-brand. We make it very easy for you to create different portals for your different products, different services, across different geographic locations, end users, whatever the case, right? You're able to segment your business in such a fashion, but also manage and administer all of the cases that come in, as well as the content on one single site in the back end here. So for example, if I needed to make an update to an article that lives across all of the different brands that I have, I only do that once on one back end instance, and it will carry through all of the brands that you have. So let's hop into a specific portal here. This view that we're seeing here is essentially an out-of-the-box template, one of the several out-of-the-box templates we provide you in order to get your support center, this landing page, up and running fast. The organization of the content is divided into these different topics, and within each topic or bucket, I see a list of relevant questions that roll up to that topic. Over on the right-hand side, these are the number of ways where your end user are able to reach out to support. So number one, we offer an out-of-the-box native community forum where you're able to allow your end users to ask one another questions, solicit best practices from one another, and really be able to facilitate knowledge transfer. We also offer a native chat tool within Desk. So if it's an urgent matter and they want to initiate a session right away from this portal, they can do so. For today, let's go ahead and shoot over an email and look at how that email is going to come in through Desk and also will live in Salesforce. So let's make it pretty simple for the use case today. I can't see my registration form. And here I'm going to specify the type of request, right, this question is regarding. Keep in mind, this contact form we're seeing here, it's completely customizable. So, you're able to create as many different fields as you would like, push that out, and capture that full front, thorough profile about the customer and details of the case. And you might have noticed, as I filled out the form, over on the right-hand side, I'm seeing a dynamic list of content being fed back to me. And the goal here is, our support center is sifting through the knowledge base and actively trying to help with case deflection. We understand that our happiest customers are those who are able to service themselves, and we want to make sure that opportunity is given to them as they're writing out further questions before having to escalate it to support. So let's push off that email, and I'm going to transition and switch hats here. So wrapping up the customer experience, right? We've taken a look at the number of ways you can reach out to support, submitted a sample case, Now let's hop into the shoes of an agent and take a look at the universal inbox, or what the agent experience looks like. This is where every single case from every single channel, whether it's through email, whether it's through public Q&A, a phone case, Facebook, whichever source, it's all going to flow into this one single instance on the back end we're seeing here. So we saw that the case we submitted has come in real time. I see a couple of labels that have been automatically appended to the case, and that's a result of workflows and rules running on the back end in order to ensure that cases are escalated to the right teams, to the right agents, to the right filters. So I selected registration as a type of issue. It's kicking off the case into the registration filter. Desk.com was able to acknowledge that this request came in from the safe way, right, from that specific portal, and is able to characterize and define that case, push it off into the correct brand as well. In addition, right, I'm able to capture customer satisfaction scores. So these are great for a couple of different things. Number one, I'm able to really gauge the temperature, right, and really see how valuable the customer has seen the engagement to be so far. It's going to be a red flag to me if I see a customer is angry. I should probably hop into the case and escalate it and take care of it. And second, we're able to report on these metrics in the back end. So keeping that in mind before I hop into reporting at the end. I can also see the status of the case here, right, as well as the channels in which the cases have come in. Over on the left-hand side, these are our case filters. Think of them as dynamic folders. So they're queues for your different types of cases, for your different brands, your different portals, even different tiers, as well as channels. This list, this view that we're seeing here is customizable, so whomever logs into Desk.com, they're only going to see the cases that are relevant to themselves based on the workflows we set up in the back end. So hopping into a specific case here. This is the case view, right? And we understand the pain of having 5 different tabs open in order for the customer, for the agent to have relevant details of the customer on hand and manage the case from beginning to end from all different channels. And within this case view, I have every piece of information I need to know about my customer, Tony Smith, on the left-hand side, as well as important details of the case on the right-hand side. Desk also allows you to easily integrate telephony into the product and manage inbound as well as outbound calls directly within this interface. So let me just mimic the flow of an incoming call. As an agent, I will answer, log the details of the call here, resolve the case, exit out. And as you can see, I'm able to take all of these actions, be able to work with different cases, different channels, different customers, all within this one single view. I don't have to navigate anywhere else in the Desk software. Now, in terms of replying to Tony's question here, the first thing I want to highlight is leveraging internal note. So if I'm not sure the right way to respond to him and I want to escalate to a different team, I can attach an internal note to really facilitate that collaboration. And keeping in mind, this note is going to carry over and sync over as a case comment back in Salesforce. Now, 2 ways we can respond to Tim. One is via the knowledge base that we saw earlier. That same knowledge base lives and breathes within Desk itself. And very simple for the agent just to pull that knowledge base up, hop into this repository, right? I can narrow down the right content, the right answer by the brand, by the different topic. And after I've landed on the right answer, I can either push it out as a direct link to the article or append the text into the reply field itself. And just to point out, this knowledge base we're seeing here, it's great for external as well as internal use cases. So if you wanted to create private articles to document internal processes and only have them made visible to your team members, we're able to leverage this knowledge base within Desk to push out content externally, as well as making sure that all of your agents have access to the most thorough and accurate information at all times. Now, the fastest way to reply to PIN is via a macro. With Desk, we're able to build smart macros. So no need to create a different macro for each of the different channels you support or for each of the different languages that are relevant here. With Desk, our macros are channel aware and language intelligent. So Desk is able to acknowledge the default language of the customer as well as the channel in which the case has come in, and therefore we'll be able to surface the appropriate macro. So in this case, I can simply select the right macro from the folders down below, or leverage the fastest way via an inline macro. So I'm going to type ## the macro that I have in mind. And as you can see, the macro has referred back to the customer intelligently by first name. It has appended a canned response. And over on the right-hand side, if there are additional workflows that you want to automate with this macro, such as increasing or lowering the priority of the case, or escalating it to a different tier or a different team, even populating specific custom fields, adding an internal note, updating a description, whatever the case, we're able to leverage macros, right, which we define as these shortcuts that are great for triggering and automating a number of different things. And the value here is your agents are able to work at a much more efficient pace. So I'm going to send that response over to Tony. And that wraps it up in terms of the Desk interface, the efficiency tools that agents have access to in terms of managing and resolving cases as they come in. Now let's pivot a little bit and focus on Desk Connect. I really want this demo, the bulk of this demo, to highlight the value that Desk Connect is able to offer you in terms of being able to connect your service and your sales team together. So within this view here, I'm just going to scroll down on the left-hand side. This widget that we see right here, this is pulling in information from Salesforce so that I can see, the contact information, perhaps the most recent activities, opportunities data. You have full control and flexibility of simply selecting what you want to be pulled and displayed from Salesforce into Desk, and in this read-only format. Whether it's a custom object, a related list, whatever piece of data you want to have visible to your service team, we can do so via this widget here. You have access to this information right in front of you. No need to purchase dual licenses to get this view into Salesforce. So not only do we get this view into Salesforce, like we mentioned before, any of the fields in Desk that live on the customer level, on the company level, details of the case are mapped to the associated fields in Salesforce. So standard fields such as the customer title or even the status of the case, and custom fields as well. And that is really the difference here, right? Desk.com, I can truly say, is the only solution that offers that true bi-directional sync between Desk and Salesforce. A third-party integration follows what we call a point-in-time load, which means it's not bi-directional. When an update is made in, let's say, Zendesk or Freshdesk, it's not going to sync in Salesforce. So someone can make changes in Salesforce, and those changes will not be automatically reflected back in the system. And that's because that integration is built on custom objects, not standard objects. And we can go into detail about the risks associated with that, right? With data inaccuracy, misalignment of data, et cetera. All right, so this is a view from Desk. Let's transition task and hop into Salesforce now. So I'm going to hop into my Salesforce instance that's connected to my Desk account. I'm going to pull up a list of all of the active cases. So we see here that the case we submitted earlier into Desk also lives in Salesforce. And before I forget, I want to take this moment just to highlight Desk Connect is whitelisted in the Salesforce API, which means it will not use any of their allocated calls. A third-party app like Zendesk, Freshdesk, on the other hand, would count against their API calls. So thinking about it right from a value and long-term cost perspective. Let's hop into that case for additional details within this view here. So we talked about standard fields and how we're able to map those. With Desk Connect, we're able to map specific custom fields as well to one another. So the type of request registration we see here, this is an example of a custom field I created. This is extremely powerful because what field mapping allows us to do is sync data without having to manually enter the values and store the data in two different systems. I created this custom field in Desk, created it in Salesforce, mapped them together, and now I'm getting that real-time sync. A point-in-time solution isn't able to accomplish this. So without Desk Connect, for example, working in a third-party application, I would need to manually enter the values twice in both systems. So let me go ahead and demonstrate that real-time bi-directional sync. I'm going to hop back into that same case back in Desk. And let's say, in my conversation with Tony, this is an actual, account billing type of issue, and I want to be able to track that for accurate reporting purposes. I'm going to make that update in Desk, and let's hop back into the Salesforce view. Click refresh, and as you can see, that custom field, that change that I made in Desk, synced over real-time instantaneously just like that. So just to speak and introduce the power of that bi-directional sync here. So within this view, let me scroll down some more. I mentioned earlier, right, internal notes that we make in Desk are synced over as Salesforce comments. So we see that the internal note we created a few minutes earlier now lives in Salesforce as well. I also have access to the case feed, and Kara brought this up earlier. This is extremely important because I have visibility from a sales perspective into the case timeline. I can see conversations. I can see updates back and forth between the customer and the support team. Third-party apps cannot take advantage of this Salesforce case feed, and that's because the custom objects, they literally sit as another tab in the panel above, not directly under the cases native tab here. So going back in this view, right, and just bringing around full circle, this is the same account that lives in Desk. This is the same contact that lives in Desk. If I wanted to hop into Tony's profile in Salesforce, and let's just go ahead and put on the sales hat right now, right? Here, I have visibility into active, ongoing conversations, active cases associated with Tony here. And it's important because from the sales perspective, we're able to have better insight when talking to customers. We're able to understand existing customer service cases, for example, and therefore be able to predict future issues that might arise. So instead of taking a reactive approach, we're able to be more proactive in addressing problems quickly. So if I hop into the accounts view associated with Tony here, and wearing the sales hat again, right? It might be important for me to track the renewal date of the account, for example. This is another custom field that I've created. I know that I probably won't be talking to Safeway about renewing their service if I see that they have, a bajillion cases open and no response yet from support. So back to, tying it all around, you're able to give visibility for your sales team and enable them to have better conversations with the customer. So hopping back into Desk here, let's switch hats here. Now I'm a customer customer service agent working in support. As I'm working through the case, right, I'm going to have that same visibility into details such as the renewal date of the account. So now when I'm speaking with Tony here, I can say, hey, I see that your renewal date is coming up and you're eligible for a discount, right? I'm able to have that type of conversation with Tony because this type of view, this type of information is shared between Desk and Salesforce. We're simply able to have better conversations, and I think that's the point I really want you guys to take away, because we're now able to understand the full customer history. We're able to be more efficient in how we respond to customers and avoid the swivel chair effect, right? No need for your customer service agents to spend extra time digging up information in multiple systems, other systems of records, to bring up the relevant details they should already have at their fingertips, right? And within Desk, I even have that view of all the past cases that Tony has submitted here. I can simply pull up that timeline right within this interface. So why is this all important, right? Desk Connect really ensures that your support and your sales team are always working on the latest, the most accurate information throughout the customer journey. This eliminates the need for you to have duplicate licenses. I make an update to a case in one system and it's going to be reflected in the other. Now, because we're able to map fields and values between Desk and Salesforce, an added benefit of Desk Connect is that we're able to leverage Salesforce reporting. So hopping back into the Salesforce view, right, third-party apps cannot take advantage of out-of-the-box Salesforce reports. So we're now able to tie in metrics that your CEO is looking at from a sales perspective and connect it to support. We're able to pull in and report on your support KPIs as well as every piece of data that lives within Salesforce. This is important if you wanted visibility into, let's say, what are the top cases that my highest paying customers are submitting? What are the differences across my gold tier, my silver, my bronze tier, and the issues that they're experiencing. We're able to really sync sales and support and bring that insight full circle into a holistic view within the Salesforce, leveraging the Salesforce reporting engine. And I think this is a great segue into the reporting tools that come out of the box within Desk. So let me hop back into Desk and let me transition and wrap up the demo with a couple minutes on the Desk reporting engine. This is a dashboard report that we're looking at here. Think of this as a report card. This is a high-level 20,000-foot view, very helpful for support leadership managers to get that visibility and be able to take a temperature check on the performance of the organization so far. This dashboard is real time. So it becomes reflected the moment a case is updated, the moment a case is resolved. You're able to get that accuracy immediately. So as a support manager looking at this view, I have visibility into spikes in business, gaps in performance, for example, trends across time. I can see the top filters. I can see the active distribution of the cases. I can see what my most popular channels are for today, as well as top labels, macros, custom fields that are used, and even who my top superstars are. And like I said before, with the customer satisfaction surveys that come native out of Desk, we're able to report on these metrics in the back end here.
And I think this report is great because it also highlights all of the top issues that your customers are having, and sometimes those might be product issues or things that are even outside of support. What you can do is take that back to your engineering team, to your product team, so that your customers won't have to write in with those product questions.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Great. So thank you so much for the demo. Do you want to switch back to the slides and wrap up the presentation?
Yeah.
Wonderful. So I know you all have a ton of questions. Some of the questions are very specific to your account, and I just don't have the capacity to impersonate and go in there right now. So talk to your accounts team if you have specific questions around the soft phone, the open CPI technology. How do you get certain things set up in the next-gen agent? Those are some of the questions that came up a lot. Feel free to contact your accounts team. You can also contact support at Desk. So the email for that is support@desk.com, and someone will be able to help you. So with that, let's open the floor up for some Q&A. The first question we have right here is this different? So the Desk Connect demo that Francis just showed, is that different than the old Salesforce integration?
Yes. So Desk Connect, I mentioned at the beginning of the demo, that was released. It was released a year ago, right? And this is an improved, newer version of the old Salesforce integration. So when we think of third-party applications like Zendesk integration, for example, as well as our old Salesforce integration, all of those use a managed package, which means they're not going to get any benefits to new Salesforce releases within that package. Desk now, on the other hand, is mapped to the native case object, which has an entire team of Salesforce behind it, adding new features each release to really help strengthen case management. So this means you're going to benefit from the upgrades around the cases object 4 times a year, in addition to reaping, additional continual improvements and feature releases we make to Desk.
Yeah.
So yes, this is different from the old Salesforce integration.
Mm-hmm. And what is the cost of this integration?
It is free.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And this comes with our Pro Business editions within Desk.
Perfect. What is the difference between Desk and Service Cloud? I know I talked a little bit about that, but let's spend a few more minutes talking about the difference. So Desk is an all-in-one, out-of-the-box support app, and it's really great for those that are just starting out with support, or they really need to get support up and running quickly. Like I said, our customers can get Desk.com set up in an average of 1 to 3 days, configured for their business use case. If you want to get it up and running, you can literally do it in minutes. Service Cloud, on the other hand, is it's the world's #1 customer service platform. That being said, platform is powerful. Platform means you can automate a lot of things. You can write a lot of workflows and have Service Cloud help you manage more complex customer cases. So some of those examples are, like I said, SLAs that, let's say you are in the healthcare industry and you have SLAs, you have to get back to your customers within a certain time frame, otherwise you would get penalized for it. So some of those things where you need to have a more robust workflow, those are the types of use cases for Service Cloud.
Yeah, and on that point of SLAs, that's not to say that Desk doesn't handle SLAs, right? We just don't handle custom contracts. But if there's a use case where, let's say, the service broken down by gold, silver, bronze customers, we need to get back to our gold customers within 2 hours, or silver within 8, or bronze within 24, we are able to leverage time rules within Desk to make sure that your agents are able to get back to those customers in a timely manner. And wrapping up that story, I think Kara and I were super passionate about the story we're able to tell with Desk, right? It's a story about growth and scalability that most vendors can't attest to. Because we're part of Salesforce, scalability is in our DNA in a way, right?
And Desk. So we want everyone to grow up. We want businesses to migrate and upgrade to Service Cloud. We want people to succeed, and those two products are designed to help you do just that.
Exactly. Yeah, Desk Connect, and I didn't talk too much about this in demo, but it really facilitates the upgrade path from Desk to Service Cloud. Because data is already shared between Desk and Salesforce, the day that a Desk customer decides to further scale and grow their processes with Service Cloud, all of the relevant information, all the relevant data is already living in the right standard objects. So there's no migration project, if you would say. There's no rip and replace, right? That the data that can usually take weeks and months and cost upwards of tens of thousands of dollars for a third-party integration in migration into Service Cloud is simply a seamless upgrade.
Great. So let's go back to Desk Connect and answer specific questions around that. Currently using both systems separately.
We need a little bit more clarity on that.
Yeah.
How are we able to map Desk and Salesforce if we're using the two systems separately? So yes, one of the values that Desk Connect is able to offer is it eliminates the need for dual licenses, right? You can map your Salesforce instance to Desk and enable your sales and support teams to not only get that view into the customer profile, but also make changes in one system and see the updates in the other. So you don't need to have dual licenses.
And for the sync to work properly, does each agent need a Salesforce account, or can you just use one generic one?
You can use one generic one.
Mm-hmm. Great. Okay, let's see. I'm just sorting through some of these questions. Some of them are just comments. So how would you get Desk Connect up and running? There are a few questions around that.
This is one of my favorite questions. It took me, in setting up my Salesforce org into my Desk account, it took me 5 minutes. It's in the admin panel. There's going to be a Desk Connect setting in there, and you literally turn it on, right? In terms of making sure that goes as smoothly as possible, we set you up in a conversation with one of our product managers, and it takes 10 minutes to set up that connection.
And I think that's primarily making sure that your fields are mapping correctly, and you want the right fields in Desk to be mapped exactly the way you want it in Salesforce. Yep. And that's where our product managers can help you do just that. Great. So we only have time for one last question. Let me see what else is in here. How do you set up the case feed? Oh, the case feed that you showed in Salesforce, in the customer view, the case feed is already available.
That's already available, yeah. You don't need to set up that case feed.
Okay, great. And then last question for you, Franny, is that we talked about all the sync. Can we do like a selective sync or like point in time if we don't want all that data to be synced between Desk and Salesforce?
Yep, absolutely. So we understand that there are customers out there who do not want to sync over all of their cases, their new contacts that come in, and within Desk Connect, within the admin controls on the back end, you can set up rules and conditions that define, hey, I only want to sync over select pieces of data.
Perfect. Well, we don't have any time left, unfortunately. I'll try to make sure I get back to each individual person that asked a question during the webinar. We want to make sure we get all of your questions answered. In the future, if you ever want to get a hold of us, you can always email support@desk.com, and we'll be able to help you out individually with your individual problems. Thank you, everyone, so much for joining the webinar today. I had a lot of fun. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Francis, for showing us that awesome demo. And then finally, thank you, Jessica, for participating. And then thank you to all of you for attending. We look forward to seeing you in future webinars. Thank you. Have a good day.